There are a lot of things that you can do before the new year or new term that can make you feel less stressed, like save you time and make you feel more prepared, basically setting yourself up for success. But at the same time, there are like a million things that you can be doing, and it can be easy to feel overwhelmed. So here is a breakdown, step-by-step list of everything that you need to do to feel prepared for the new year. So with academics, the first thing I want to do is I want to put all of my exam dates into my calendar, so I know exactly where they are and what the due dates are, and at any given time I know what I need to be working on and which one is the most urgent. I also talk about this in a lot of my other videos, but I usually at the start of the year make a 2-pass list. So it's, for this year it'll be 2-pass 4th year, and I have first all of the like actual exams, so I only have like 3 major exams, and I have the deadlines as well, and then I have the clinical capabilities that I have, so the things I have to do on patients that I have to complete this year, and then underneath each one I have the criteria as well. So for example, if I'm doing an extraction, it has to be a tooth which has pretty much grade 1 mobility and stuff like that, so that at any point I know that I can like look it up and it will be there. Then I have all the essays that I need to do and those deadlines and other things that are mandatory for attendance, like for example we have these sessions every year that have to be attended, and if they are not, then you won't pass the year. So kind of things like that, and I have them all basically in a calendar and all of the criteria and everything there as a checkbox, and then throughout the year I can like kind of tick them out, and it's really like satisfying seeing them being ticked off every year. And like towards the end of the year you'll only have like a few things left, and that will be like so much more satisfying. If your university also has a syllabus, I'd usually print that out and, you know, go through it, go through the important points, and then also like I usually will find out what are the most high yield information points for that exams, or those exams I have this year and stuff like that, usually asking people in the older years, or you know, figuring it out through past papers and stuff like that. The next thing is organizing all of your notes. So you have to find out a system that works for you. Is it OneNote? Is it Notion? What are you going to do? Do you like taking notes? Do you rather just take flashcards? And you know, are you going to use Anki or Quizlet? And how are you going to do this? What's your spaced repetition intervals and all of that stuff? Figure out a way that works for you. Also figure out what medium your university uses most. So is it like pre-recorded lectures? Is it more like in-person like lectures or clinical skills or something like that? What is most important? What do you need to know, and how are you going to organize that, and how are you going to structure that so it's like efficient, you're not spending that much time studying. Another thing is, if you have notes from the previous years that you will actually be using, make sure you organize those. A lot of the time at the end of the year after my exam, I'm just like, that's it, I'm not touching anything. And yeah, it might be helpful to go over it, maybe even like recap a few things before you start, just in case it might be useful. I will be having loads of videos on how I organize things at university, because I think I have like a very efficient, good system down. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that upload, as well as check out the other videos on my channel. But yeah, I do have a video actually on how I organize things for A-levels, and I mean, I think it worked for A-levels. I think it's slightly different for university, but for A-levels, if you want to check that video out, you can check it out here. I think it's like really useful though, because a lot of the time I tell you that, you know, once you fall behind on lectures and stuff like that, it's like almost impossible to get back. And so you just want to make sure you're on top of your things, and make sure that you're never cramming for an exam, and that you're okay, that you know, like you're not stressing that am I going to pass this exam, because you know you're at least going to pass the exam. So the first thing is that nobody can focus, or nobody can pay attention when they're in a messy room, and nobody likes a messy room. So if you're in a dorm, or if you're staying at home and in your room, make sure that it's clean, make sure that everything has a space, make sure that you can go declutter everything and get rid of the things that aren't necessary, because when you have less things, you can find the things that you want to find easier, and internally you're less stressed than you are if your room was a clutter and a mess. And a random side note too is that when you're clearing through all of your stuff in your room, you can also make some time to find all the things that you need for uni. Like for me, it was my NHS card, my uni card, so I can swipe in, as well as my scrubs, you know, loops, notebooks, pens, all of that stuff, all of the essentials that you need, and you can make sure that they're pretty much already in your bag, ready to go. And if you're moving from your home to your university, make sure you're not buying like way too much, because the thing is, when you're moving to university, you think that you need all of these things like 10 cups and stuff like that, but you actually don't. How about you just get some of the basics, and then when you go to university, you kind of feel what you need and get it as you go, because you know, there'll be a Sainsbury's, there'll be a Tesco around. If you're moving to university, I will have like a video coming out soon with all of the checklist items of every single thing that you need to take to university, to kind of help you out on that journey as well. So you make sure that you've got the essentials, like, you know, wipes and like fairy liquid and stuff like that, but you're not bringing too much, because let me tell you, those university halls, especially in first year, are tiny, so you really need to maximize your space. The next thing is, I have so many to-do lists. I usually have like a master to-do list, and then I have to-do lists broken down into different like categories, like finance and like all admin, and then, you know, the to-do list is broken down into things I can do at home, things I need to do at uni, things I need to do out when I'm about, and stuff like that. So a lot of the times, a lot of things on there are just kind of collected and stuff like that. Really go through your to-do lists and make sure that all of those things are things that actually need to get done, and you know, aren't just there to be fluff, because you can easily just add like 10 things to your to-do list just right now, and if they don't get done, like, it's not the end of the world. Make sure that all those things are things that need to get done, and if you can, maybe spend a day just trying to like cross things off that to-do list. It really like kind of lifts a weight off my shoulders. And I know that Michelle B does like loads of admin days and stuff like that. That's what she calls them, life admin days, where she basically just tries and gets like loads of things off her to-do list, like the admin kind of things. And I think that's really cool, because you know, you can't all the time be working on your projects and like studying and stuff like that, because there are things like doing your laundry that kind of pile up and that you need to take care of at least once a week kind of thing. So yeah, just kind of doing that kind of stuff, house cleaning, taking out all of those to-do lists is important. If you've already moved in, I think also creating a productive workspace is really helpful. If you have photos of what your halls are going to be and you've not moved in yet, you can maybe like mock it up on Procreate or like on a piece of paper or something like that, and figure out what kind of things you want to do. Obviously, like, I love my workspace. I have like that little LED like clock that's been all over Pinterest, and I also didn't have the money to have a display, but I have my laptop on a little stand and like a trackpad and like a little, this isn't the Apple keyboard, it's just like some £10 one on Amazon, because that's like, it just makes more sense than spending like £300 or £200 on a keyboard. But yeah, that works for me, and figure out a way that will make you feel inspired to work, because you're going to be spending so many hours studying. This can be even just like some post-it notes, or it can be like some pictures that you printed out from Pinterest, or it can be like a nice pen or something like that. But yeah, try and also think about, if you're spending any money, like you're actually spending money on this, make sure you first of all think about your neck. So that's why I got the display stand, and also your back. So your chair should be like a really good chair that will support your back, and you know, hopefully, especially if you're doing dentistry like I am, your posture is so important, because 9 out of 10 dentists have back pain, and it's probably gonna be me. So yeah, the next thing is something that I don't think a lot of people think about, and that is setting academic goals. So obviously I'm in my 4th year now, and my goals are going to be very different than if I was just starting university. But set some academic goals for, you know, maybe like, for example, because my practice is very clinically based, I'm gonna be trying to do something like, okay, I'm gonna try and see more patients per time slot now, so I'm gonna try and be faster and more efficient with my procedures and treatments and stuff like that, and treatment planning, and less like waffle and stuff like that. Just basically being more efficient, because that way I can see more patients get treated, and in real life I'm gonna have to see patients in 20-minute slots anyways. So I think this is really helpful, and you know, you can have whatever goals you want. You can have maybe, okay, I want to achieve like a 50% or 100% or whatever on my exam or something like that. And if you want to go a step further, you can even break this down into daily habits and weekly habits that you can do, or things that will get you towards that goal. But yeah, I think it's really important. You can even set like non-academic university goals or new year goals, which is something like, you know, I want to socialize more, or I want to join with societies, or I want to like learn this type of like martial arts or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, just set a goal for something that you're like working towards, because otherwise you're kind of just floating through life and you're not really like taking control of your year. And the last few things are, one, I know that with especially university there are like a million different types of information resources and stuff like that, and you know, you could spend your whole life studying these things, but I think, you know, if you cull your resources down to like maybe a few textbooks, or maybe a few study guides, or a few like websites and YouTube videos or whatever, and you like make a list of those, and like you try and stick to those, because studying efficiently isn't going through every single textbook. It's, you know, finding the most important relevant informations, and it's doing more like broad brushstrokes. It's not doing all of the fine details. You don't need every single detail to get like a really high score. Most of it is actually like, you know, the 80-20 rule. A lot of it is actually just the basic concepts, and you know, knowing how things link in together, doing high yield information and stuff like that. So just create like a list of a few resources that you're going to use this year, and don't try and read every single textbook, because that's not the efficient way to study. Regardless, the person who reads all the textbooks and the person who sticks to like 4 will both graduate, and you know, that's different. So yeah, I want you to have like a good life, a social life, a balance and stuff like that, not just like burnout. And also online enroll if that's something that you have to do. I know that I have to do it every single year, and yeah, that's just something like, I don't know, I think in America you like choose your classes and stuff like that. I don't know, it's not like that here, but yeah, make sure you do that, and make sure you do any like admin things that you need to do before your university starts. And so with your life reset, something I really like to do is I like to brain dump every single thing that's on my mind, everything that I feel like I need to do before university starts, everything that I need to do, like just everything that's on my mind basically. And it's really helpful because then you can like cut out things or prioritize things or figure out, okay, you know, I've been thinking about getting a haircut. Should I get a haircut? Should I not get a haircut? Let's make a decision now. So it's not just like constantly in my head. Figure out what needs to be done and then like cross them out one by one. The second thing also is fix your sleeping schedule. Obviously we all know that students love to like not sleep and stuff like that, and you know, party all night and stuff like that. So kind of fix your sleeping schedule now, because honestly, you know this, I know this, everyone knows that you function better when you're sleeping well and you have your 8 and 9 hours of sleep and stuff like that. And for lectures, you're going to focus so much more. If you're going to be waking up at 9 AM, you might as well be paying attention and actually make a good use and stuff like that. So yeah, make sure you fix your sleeping schedule. There's like 100 videos that you can watch on this. Just make sure you just have good sleep hygiene, go to sleep at the same time, make sure there's no lights around you, don't have caffeine too late and stuff like that. Another thing kind of following on from this is that this time before your university starts, when you know you don't have so much stress, is a perfect time to create new routines and you know start that habit tracker, you know, morning night routines, all of these things which kind of will help you have a balanced life and make sure that you stay on track of, you know, eating 3 meals a day, because like a lot of us like just struggle with that with basic things. And you know, making sure we do all of these things like moving your body and going to the gym and all of this stuff, socializing, that do matter. And you know, you shouldn't prioritize your university over these kind of things, and putting these routines in place will make sure that you keep on top of them when you're in university as well. And another random thing is I kind of like always forget to eat very like kind of like I study and then I'm like, oh actually I'm really hungry now, and then like I scarf down food. So a thing that I really like to do is I like to have like a list of like recipes in my like phone or on like an actual book, and it's basically like my favorite go-to recipes, like the things that actually like I love. Everybody has different things that they love, but I love like my dad's homemade lasagna, I love like specific foods, I love tacos, I like my kidney bean tacos, those are really good. I love like specific things, I love like salmon rice, I love like I have specific meals that I absolutely love and that I am used to making, like chimichurri. There's a good recipe for this as well by Fit Men Cook. So I think having like a list of this is just really helpful, because whenever you're hungry you can just have a look at this. And you know, I even have like a list of my favorite snacks, my favorite breakfasts and stuff like that, so I can just kind of go to this list and like see what I'm feeling and quickly go get that. And a lot of these things, like for example the tacos, you don't need that many fresh ingredients, you just need like lettuce, cucumber, like some salsa, cheese and stuff like that. The rest of it is like taco shells, kidney beans, sweet corn, stuff like that. So yeah, you can kind of prepare for these situations when you're like starving and you know nothing's open. So yeah, so before your school year starts, you can always do little things like, you know, get a new haircut, or you can, you know, if for example we have clinic trousers and scrubs and stuff like that, if you need to get new ones or new clinic shoes or something like that, you can get that. Or if you want to get a few new items of clothing just to make yourself feel like you have like a bit more in your wardrobe, yeah, this is the perfect time to do that and glow up, so to speak. So yeah, because we're getting really close to 1,000 subscribers, I thought we should do a giveaway. So I'm not sure what you guys want to do, but comment down below what you would like. Something like, I don't know, like Amazon gift cards, or is there something specific you want? I don't know. So just comment down below what you would like to do and subscribe so you don't miss out on when we hit that 1K mark. But other than that, I have so many other videos on my channel talking about, you know, day in the life of me as a 4th year dental student, studying with me, and you know, productivity tips, things on like, you know, getting into university, getting into dental school, also like A-level study tips and stuff like that. So also how I study in dental school, how I organize everything. So make sure you check out the other videos on my channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on another upload, and comment down below because I reply to every single one. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.